You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Sunday the 2nd of February, 2025. It is 43 days after the winter solstice. It is 46 days before the spring equinox. Today, for what it's worth, is Groundhog Day. By the French Republican calendar, it is the 14th day of Pluviose, the day of the Aveligne, the filbert. The sun rises today at 7:04 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 12:09 p.m. The sun sets today at 5:15 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 5:44 p.m. and nautical twilight ends at 6:16 p.m. The length of daytime today is 2 minutes 13 seconds longer than yesterday. The moon is in its waxing crescent phase and is 22% full at midday. The first quarter will arrive on Wednesday, the 5th of February. These are the predicted tides today for Horn's Hook. In the middle of the night, high tide, 12:50 a.m., 1 meter 52. In the early morning, low tide, 6:53 a.m., minus 15 centimeters. In the afternoon, high tide, 1:10 p.m., 1 meter 46. In the evening, low tide, 7:14 p.m., minus 24 centimeters. Our current tides are quite high and quite low, as the new moon has coincided with the moon's perigee. In our shared realm of plants and animals, seagulls are remarkably sanguine when they spy a hawk circling high above. Unlike flocks of pigeons, who for good reason become agitated and skittish at the sight of hawks, the seagulls simply go about their business, arcing gently in the air over the cove. Commemorations. On this day in 1848, the first recorded Chinese immigrants arrived in San Francisco. 2 men and 1 woman disembarked from the brig the Eagle, arriving from Hong Kong. On this day in 1653, Peter Stuyvesant, the Dutch colonial governor, granted the city of New Amsterdam its own charter. It created the office of schout, or mayor, and provided for 2 burgomasters and 5 schepens, or aldermen. The Stadhuis Tavern became the first city hall. On this day in 1913, Grand Central Terminal opened to the public. On this day in 1851, José Guadalupe Posada was born in Aguascalientes, Mexico. He was a prolific popular illustrator, and his woodcuts inspired many Mexican muralists of the next generation. His Day of the Dead images continue to be reproduced widely. On this day in 1882, James Joyce, the Irish novelist, was born in Dublin, Ireland. On this day in 1979, Sid Vicious, the bassist for the Sex Pistols, died of a heroin overdose. He was just 21 years old. While the most famous celebration of Groundhog Day takes place today at Gobbler's Knob in Punxsutawney, New York City has its own weather-predicting groundhog at the Staten Island Zoo. It has been traditional for the mayor of the city to be invited to take part. In 2014, Mayor Bill de Blasio famously dropped the groundhog, who died just 6 days later. He remarked about the incident, "I put on these gloves, and they're like, here's a groundhog. It was idiocy. Why would you want an elected official to hold a groundhog? I don't know anything about holding groundhogs, so the whole thing is just insane. There's an original sin here. Don't hand someone a groundhog, right?" 5 years earlier, the groundhog bit Mayor Michael Bloomberg. Mayor Adams does not appear to be scheduled to attend this year. And that is the Observatory, Sunday the 2nd of February, 2025.